Event planning and space reservations are a crucial part of hosting meetings and events on campus. All events will need to have requests made through Student Life and Leadership, through the community portal. Any events that occur without the knowledge of Student Life and Leadership are not sanctioned by the university and therefore may result in sanction points. Planning ahead is key to having a successful event. At minimum, you should begin your planning 3 weeks in advance. Room reservations are easier to reserve when requested 3 weeks out. Special Events begins to make their employee schedules 1 week before their schedules come out, and they are made 2 weeks in advance. So if there are no employees available to set up a space for use or to unlock a room, the space may be made unavailable for reservations at that time. Because of this, we recommend planning the 3 weeks in advance. With COVID-19, additional time is also needed to help plan and prepare spaces for use. In the events section of Community, there is an event planning timeline and checklist that can help you as you begin to think through the details of your event. This would be a good option to use in conjunction with the health and safety plan as you prepare for the time leading up to your events, or even as you reflect on how things could be done differently in the future. Remember, a well thought out plan will help you to have the most success for those activities you intend on having. This doesn't mean that this checklist has to be used exclusively for a single event. This is something that you can use as you prepare for some bigger goals that your organization might have. What things might you need to do to organize your event? Are there things or smaller tasks that need to occur that could be broken down throughout the semester? Can you start having small meetings and events that could lead up to a big project? Are there other organizations that you can work with? What marketing can be done to get more people involved in meetings so that you have the help that you're going to need? All of these things come with planning a single event. Also, think of some of the campus resources like staff and faculty that could support your goals and help you gain a better understanding. Could you offer a workshop for members where they learn about fundraising, marketing, coordinating large events? Don't limit your event to this just one single thing. Think about multiple things that you could do to build up to that and that could support your organization as you host larger scale activities. Again, with the uncertainty with COVID, one advantage that your organization will have is to be able to pre-plan for the future. While there may be times that we may not have activities, we can start planning for what things might look like in the spring or in the fall. There are ample opportunities for you to have virtual meetings with several staff members that can support you along with other Fort Wayne community members. Use this time that you have and get creative to see what kind of things that you can come up with for meetings. Just because things aren't how they normally are doesn't mean that we can't have a new normal. Just as the university and its departments have needed to think about the health and safety guidelines for events on campus, we would like for our student organizations to begin considering the best practices when having these types of events. This plan doesn't need to be very long or elaborate. We just want to ensure that you're thinking about the conditions that might impact the health and safety of those attending. Regardless of whether or not we're in a COVID pandemic or not, these are good habits to get into whenever you're planning things that involve other people. So for right now with COVID-19, here's some of the things that you're going to want to specifically think about. Who will be monitoring the adherence of rules like wearing masks? Will you have a sign specifying the health and safety requirements? Where will those be located? Are there going to be guests like non-Purdue Fort Wayne or IU Fort Wayne students or staff that's going to be attending? How many people will be at your event? Who will be checking in guests into community? Will someone be counting participants? Will someone be responsible for turning people away if that maximum capacity is met? What plans do you have for things like crowd control if the line gets long while people are waiting? Will there be a flow of traffic for an in and out exit? Will food be at the event? Is there a direction that they should go if they're retrieving food? Will participants have enough space that they can eat at that location, or is food the best option for your event? What are your sanitation procedures? Is there equipment that you're going to be borrowing? And who's going to be sanitizing that after? Do you have things that people will be sharing? And are there other things that you should be taking into consideration? So these are just some of the ideas of things to kind of consider as you're writing up that plan. Again, this is just something that we want to be able to see that you're taking responsibility for having these type of events during a pandemic. We understand that not all organizations will be having them, and we do suggest that we do as much virtual options as possible just to limit the amount of traffic flow that is coming in and out of rooms, and that we're able to maintain the social distancing. When using the Purdue University Fort Wayne brand, we have to make sure that we're following the guidelines to use these assets. Until you become comfortable with the rules associated with using the brand, please make sure that you work with the activities coordinator for guidance. Another option is that you can pay print services to help create flyers or other material that you may need for advertising your events. We can only use approved vendors that have been licensed to use the Purdue University Fort Wayne brand and their trademarks. Additionally, if you're going to be using any of the brand assets for fundraising, you also need to let the vendors know that those products will be sold for fundraising purposes. For access to the brand guidelines and other assets that marketing provides, please visit the Communication and Marketing webpage and select Brand Resources. When posting flyers, all flyers must be approved by Student Life and Leadership. It is best at this time to email the activities coordinator with a copy of your flyer that is intended to be used for your event. Be sure that your flyer has the date of posting listed at the bottom corner of the page. This will be listed as DOP, and it needs to have the date that you will be posting it till 2 weeks from that day. Please be sure that you're only putting up one flyer per location. This includes the 3-sided kiosks that are in the hallways and in the library. Do not post flyers on windows, doors, trees, poles, or posts. Flyers cannot be left on tables. And please be courteous. Don't move other people's flyers or take them down. If you see something that's posted that shouldn't be there or is a violation of the posting policy, you can report this information to Student Life and Leadership, and we will address the issue. There are several options for advertising events on campus. These include toilet times, Mastodon mail, social media announcements, digital signage on the TV monitors throughout the buildings, bulletin boards, outdoor sidewalk chalk, dawn rocks, flyers for student housing, and a campus calendar.